Hello and welcome to the Black and Intuitive, and to my reading on the BC or the Richmond land grab. So you may be aware that there is like a section of land in Richmond where people have, or the government has said that you no longer really own your property entirely anymore. Now there's other interests, other like native interests that can decide what happens to your property because they owned it first, right? They owned it first, and yeah. So your property title that you thought you owned, you bought it in good faith. You didn't. There was no indication that it would ever be taken away from you. But now they're basically saying that, well, your fee simple, owning your land isn't that simple, and there's your land actually can be taken away from you, and your title, your ownership fee simple title can be questioned. So it's pretty unsettling because if that happens to people in Richmond, this can happen to basically anyone in Canada, right? So we're going to ask questions about it, about this, and just to see what comes up. So make sure the camera's rolling, and I'm just going to start my first question. And let's see, what should my first question be? Okay. Why did this happen? Or what, I'm going to ask, what is behind this? What is behind this? And perhaps why did this happen? I'm just going to ask, what is behind this? What like that kind of combination? What is behind this, and why did this happen? What is behind this? Let's ask. All right, we've got Page of Cups. What else? Why did this happen, and what is behind it? Let's see. What is behind it? I'm hearing this one goes with interesting. We've got a page. And we've got the star. We've got two pages that showed up so far. So we've got the Page of Cups and Page of Swords and the Star. Why did this happen? And what is behind it? Why did this happen, and what is behind this? Okay, the Sun. The Sun. Okay, I heard that's enough cards for that. So I'm going to get some other cards because sometimes there's obviously a theme here, right? Because there's like a two pages, the Star and the Sun. The Sun too. I didn't realize the Star and the Sun too, and then two pages and two celestial bodies. So this is interesting. I'm feeling there's a big sort of energy behind this, a big theme behind this cycle. So the Sun, the Star, and a cycle. Child, and then child, the Page of Swords. So I'm hearing that there is a sort of cycle that is going on. Okay, let me see if I can I'm hearing like there is an ancestral cycle that is coming to a close. I'm hearing that in that particular area, okay, I'm seeing it as an image of a triangle. There is a real, almost a vortex of anger that happened, and I'm hearing it could have happened something like 200 years ago, and it's not related to why there's, or it kind of is related, but they won't be saying what this is about. But like it's a vortex of anger that happened almost like in the soul realm, and I'm not saying that the people the people, they should own their lives, their homes. No one should have to take it away from them. But there's just kind of this energy of like, and I'm thinking of something I watched on Netflix. I'm hearing there's a lot of angry ancestors who want to make this right, but they don't know how to do this. Like, it's almost like on the ghost realm, and they've been around this area for a long time, and they've just been sitting, like a lot of like dead ghost energy and dead spirit energy, and they really want to almost like egging the whole situation on. That's interesting. And I'm hearing it's not just that, because there's different, whenever something happens, there's like 5 or 6 different elements to the situation that is making, I'm hearing this element is just like, I'm hearing in specific situation, there's 5 different elements, and this is one element, like the ghost ancestral realm. And they almost feel, it's like they've been living in this area. Yes, I'm hearing a check mark. They've been living in this area for a long time, and they truly believe that the land should go back. And I'm not saying it should, because it really doesn't make any sense. Because I mean, if you can't just take property away from people, right? That they've bought something in good faith, but it's like an element of that, and almost like ghosts that got solidified in time, like a handful of them that are living there, and they got stuck, and they kind of like created a community in the astral realm, and they want the area to, or they want, okay, well, do they live just in that area, like sort of like they've kind of been stuck in time and not gotten, like I'm hearing 200 years ago, and they've got stuck in time, and they're almost partially manipulating the situation. I'm hearing this situation is manipulated on many different angles, but this is one part of it. One part of it is these sort of beings that are stuck. And do people in the know about this? Yes, they know about all the astral pockets, all the different timelines, all the different realms. They have technology to watch these kind of things. But so they think, I'm hearing that they think that this land should be shared, but they don't, these ghosts, like for something that happened 200 years ago, I don't know anything about, or I don't know much about history, right? But I have a rough understanding. But like 200 years ago, something happened, like there was an unalivement, and they kind of, there's like a group of like ghosts that are really like angry about this, and they want to like they want to make this a certain way, like they want to make things right through like current times. So there's kind of that energy behind it, like sort of manipulating the situation, watching the situation. I'm hearing it's truly terrible what happened to them 200 years ago in this particular battle, this particular siege. No, a siege is more like a siege that happened. Like it was just like overtaking them, like unaliving their families, and it's like these ghosts, like they've almost like created this obsessive council watching Earth for 200 years and being stuck. And this is important because whenever these energies are created, it will come out in some way. It will be connected to something that happens in the 3D, the 3D realm. If you create that kind of energy, it's like a boil. It has to come out somewhere. And somehow it's connected to that. But I'm hearing this is just one aspect of it. Is there a manipulation with the, is there some sort of, like manipulation? I'm hearing yes, there is also like a manipulation in regards to upsetting people. I'm hearing that is the goal, is to The goal is to upset people. That is the goal, but there's different, I'm hearing that there's somehow that's the goal, is to upset people. But I'm hearing there's different reasons for that. Like this ghost collective that I hear that are sort of in that area or concerned with that area. They just kind of, they're almost like busybody. Like something terrible happened 200 years ago. They were unalived, and then they became really strong presences that want to make things right, want to make them right. So it's like they kind of have this narrow idea and it doesn't make any sense anymore, but they want to make things right. So they kind of have that energy toward it. But then there's also the manipulation of, like, the whole, I'm hearing the goal is to make people upset. Like they want they want to, some do it because they want to have justice, and some do it because they I'm hearing upsetting humans is fun. So there's sort of like elements that enjoy doing that just for kicks, and then some have the agenda of, I'm hearing yes, you are right, for thinking that there is also the agenda to take away people's boundaries, make them, you can't own your property. And there is that agenda, but there is something behind. There is that agenda to make people sort of not safe. Like it's like an abuser, right? Like, what is it called? Where you kind of what is it called? Where you're just like upsetting the equilibrium. Like okay, the word I'm looking for is destabilization. Destabilization. Yes, that's also a goal too. Is to destabilize people and have them feel like they don't really own what they own. They don't really have what they have. It's like it's a constant, like the humans are really in a constant battle with these kind of invasive energies. Yeah, these invasive energies. It started with but it was like, it's just gone on and on. That's authority energy of constantly destabilizing people and making people feel like they are a worm, that they are not worthy of, that they are not worthy of truly owning something. So there's definitely that agenda of doing that, but there's also it's like this came about with many different factors, that agenda in mind, but there is also beings that do not have that agenda in mind. They just think it's fair. They think that the natives were screwed, which is true. That it is true. There's obviously that's true, but so there's beings that are just almost, I hear them described as busybodies, or always watching, and they want things to go back to what they were, but they're always watching over the natives, and they want to see the natives thrive, these ghost beings. I'm hearing 200 years ago, 200 years ago, a siege. It was a battle, more like a siege, something extremely unfair, where the families were massacred, and they got really angry, but instead of moving on, they got sort of solidified. A group of them got solidified in time, and they're always looking out for things being better for their lineage. But then there's also the agenda of a totally different group that has a different agenda of taking away people's security, taking away you don't really own what you think you own. You're not worth. And I'm being brought to land acknowledgements, and I'm hearing that is a very intentional destabilization. That is it's meant to produce guilt. It's very much these. It's whenever I'm hearing, when do these things start? Where do these things start? And I'm hearing that okay, when did land acknowledgement start? When did like the Karen mime start? When did wokeism start? When did I'm hearing that to figure out the agenda, the agenda of this poured into the matrix, figure out where did it start and who started it. I'm hearing because it's very easy to start things in this matrix. It's like a fire. It's like in a fire. I'm hearing like you can just good fires or bad fires. You can start something by just like all you have to do is like have one dark side player do something, and it's like it's an infection in the matrix. I'm hearing, and they have these sort of dark side players who start these infections in the matrix, and there's always a psychological reason behind it. There's always, not always a psychological operation behind it. And with land acknowledgements, it's, you don't really like, okay, we're on unceded land and we feel guilty, and it's like, well, you can't really own something on planet Earth. You can't really be secure in your place on planet Earth. And it starts to get into, I'm hearing this, it's a totally different, the whole property ownership becomes this whole other, like who owns what. It becomes this whole other conversation. But the point is it's taking away people's sense of being safe and secure on the earth, of feeling like they can be at home on the earth. It's like an intentional destabilization, emotionally, psychologically. And I'm hearing you're always being manipulated. There's always manipulative, and these operations are always psychological. Yes, they are always psychological. And let's see what else. So, okay, what is the main intention behind this, and where will this head energetically? So what is the main intention? And when I say this, I'm not asking about like the native sort of ancestor ghost collective. I'm not saying that, but I'm hearing what is sort of the intention behind this? What is the intention behind this? Okay, I'm hearing all four from the top. Okay, I'm hearing death, Nine of Pentacles, King of Cups, and Eight of Pentacles. So it's almost, I'm hearing the word, it's sort of like it's demoralization. It's like no matter how hard you work, you will never be truly in. Okay, I'm hearing you will never be, no matter how hard you work, you will never be truly independent. No matter how hard you try, you will never be truly safe and secure, and you will never be a true human. It's like this psychological thing against people, and like you can work hard. It's meant to make people, these kind of things are meant to make people feel futile, right? Because, you know, if you work for 40 years and then you're told, oh, well, you don't own what you've worked for, that's going to be demoralization, right? And it's also taking away, because the Nine of Pentacles is very much independence, very much like when that cut together, it's like a hardworking independence, and it's taking away people's, their sense of autonomy, their sense of I own my, like, cause there's something about like owning something, right? Owning something, a property. And yes, there is unfairness with like what's transpired in the earth on so many different ways, but there is something about property ownership which ties you to the land. It ties you to a sense of security. This is my property. I can arrange it as I wish. I can make it be how I want it to be. There's like a root chakra stabilization that happens when you own something. And when you say, well, no, someone can come in here and you don't really own it anymore. You're basically taking away people's root chakra stabilization. And most of all, I'm hearing yes in that group, but to everybody. You're saying that to everybody. You're saying to every Canadian that you are not secure. You are not able to own. You are not able to be safe and secure in what you thought you were safe and secure in. And then the emotionality, King of Cups, and then we've got King of Cups and Death. So it's like an attack on the spirit. It's an attack on the sense of emotional stability, because the cups are emotions. King is the king, being in charge of your property, being in charge of yourself. It's like it's chipping away, and I'm hearing that's what they do. When they can't outwardly, like kind of when the dark side, when they can't outwardly start doing something nefarious, they chip away at whatever they can chip away at. It's like what they do, like it's like I'm hearing they're insidious, but they can also be, the dark side can also be stupid. They're very smart in certain ways, but they can also be stupid, and like they can do something that will make, says inadvertently, that will make society better, that will make so when that comes down to it, okay, this shoots out right here. So 9 of Swords, worry. So yeah, it's causing a little worry to a lot of Canadians, right? Not just people in that Richmond strip, but like, I mean, they may be the most worried of all, but it's worry that's collectively affecting Canadians. So what is this going to sort of lead to? Or maybe I'll ask, what effect is that? I think that's kind of indicating what effect is this on Canadians. So Knight of Wands, okay. The effect that it has on Canadians, it makes them angry and mobilized. It's angry and makes them mobilized. I'm hearing that's worried and then angry, because the knight, he's fiery. The Knight of Wands is the fiery. The wand is the fire and the movement, and then the knight is the movement as well, fiery movements. So worry, it alternates between worry and fiery anger and movement. And when I'm seeing that card, and it's been in the back of my mind for the last like 6 or 7 or 8 minutes, what would happen? And the question is, what would happen if they tried to do this in the States? And the answer is there'd be quite a different reaction. What would happen? And I'm hearing, just ask that. And why do you think that is? Because people in the States, strength, they're not afraid to show their strength. And in Canada, we are. In Canada, we're afraid, we have kind of, okay, we've got the 5 of Swords. And how do I say that? The 5 of Swords, we're a little bit more prone to being bullied, and it's almost like this has the effect, this land grab has the effect of expanding Canadians' consciousness. So that doesn't mean when they do, the dark side do something negative, right, to destabilize humans, right, and I'm hearing it's always psychological. So if you find yourself being angry, if you find yourself being feeling like your emotions are being changed, I'm hearing that's always by design. And I'm hearing in this case it's a positive, Knight of Pentacles, because this movement, right, we've had the Knight of Pentacles. So I'm hearing that the Knight of Pentacles, Canadians have been too Knight of Pentacles-y, and they haven't developed the sort of and I'm a Canadian, so I'm not trying to diss Canadians, but they haven't. I'm not talking about every Canadian. I'm not talking about every American, of course, but I'm talking about every country, every sort of energies, like every place has a collective energy. And the one for the Canadian is kind of a little bit cautious, a little bit fear to move forward, a little bit fear to stand up for their rights. Not to say that they don't, but it's like the States, I'm hearing that the States I'm seeing okay, they've got this one covered. The States are really, they have an energy field of shall we say, like, of strength, of and power. Like, they're not afraid to, and people may, make fun of Americans. And I'm hearing even that is by, interesting, I'm hearing even that I'm hearing the word mockery. And I know I'm being drawn into different sort of trajectories, but mockery, when you start mocking somebody, or feeling a certain way, ask yourself, it's that being manipulated. Because I remember there's this one show on CBC called Talking to Americans, and it was about making fun of Americans. And I'm hearing Americans, I'm not at all I'm not saying that groups are better than the other, but I'm saying that like they really are good at holding back tyranny. The U.S. They really, that's something, and people may think it's obnoxious, and yes, sometimes is an energy of obnoxiousness from Americans, like, not talking Americans in general, but like the collective, but there is absolutely an energy that keeps tyranny at bay. There is absolutely an energy that keeps, like, bullies at bay, and people make fun of the First Amendment, they make fun of that, but in Americans and how zealotic they are, and there are definitely imbalances to American energy. Definitely imbalances. It's kind of a cauldron of energies, and there's a lot of bad things I'm hearing about the U.S. too. But one thing that they get that's very good is they keep tyranny at bay. They keep tyranny at bay, and this would not happen. I'm hearing that this would not happen. They'd be laughed off if they tried this in the States. They'd generally be just like laughed away or angered away. Like, they'd be like, they have fortitude and fire under the belly that Canadians do not have, that perhaps it's good for them to have. So yeah, keeping them at bay, like keeping the scary creatures at bay. And being, and not crawling into the corner, and being like, not saying all Canadians do that, but there is just that energy overall of being, and Canadians need to learn more self-pride and more gumption overall. Like, they're kind of a baby in that regard, in regard to the States. And I'm not like saying that Americans are better Canadians. I'm not saying that at all, but there's something that we need to learn from the US in regards to that energy field of no tyranny, not today. It's something we do definitely need to learn. Like, everything is about energy and imbalances, and a tyranny is an imbalance of energy. It's an imbalance of a government gone awry, and the U.S. is a perfect antidote, a perfect energy to that constant battle that goes on. So what is, okay, that's one last question I'm going to ask. Let me make sure that the camera's lit. I'm going to ask, where is this headed? Where is this headed? Will they get more land? Will this have to be stopped, right? Because it's, I mean, any thinking person, it's ridiculous. You can't just screw people over and screw their property and then just, take their value. I mean, that's just patently unfair, right? But I'm going to ask, where is this headed? Where is this headed? I'm hearing depends. It depends what you mean by that. Where is this? Okay, I have a question. Will they be able to take more property than what I'm trying to say is, will they start, this is the fear of some people, that they will, well, me too, everyone or whoever knows about this is interested in this, but will they start, invading more and more, like, we're going to take more land, and then, the whole thing, like taking people's land and taking their security, like doing this. Will they do this to more people? Will this sort of branch out to other areas in BC, Manitoba, Ontario, anywhere? like, and some people say it's the worst in BC, but will this expand? Will this expand? I'm hearing the King of Pentacles. I'm hearing there's some groups that certainly want it to. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing some groups certainly want it to. But will this expand? Will this expand? Will this taking of property, making you not really own your property, destabilization? Will this expand? I'm hearing depends. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. I'm seeing an image of a Wheel of Fortune kind of go this way, that way, this way, that way, this way, this way, that way. So I'm hearing this is in the balance. It's about people's sovereignty, and it depends. I'm hearing it will be a battle because, yeah, the Lovers, that will require, what I'm hearing with that, I'm hearing the Lovers is that it will require people to get in touch with aspects of themselves that they lay dormant. It will do that. And then the High Priestess, it will require people to get in touch with aspects of themselves that lay dormant. And I'm hearing that it's just like, it's trying to change the Canadian collective for the better, the Hanged Man, and sort of make the Canadian a more solidified, stronger boundary, non-BS taker. Like, it's trying to create, at some level, like, it's trying to create this energy, the force behind, no, not the bad forces aren't, but I'm talking about, like, I'm seeing that whole yin and yang thing, like the negative, the positive. There's negative, positive, everything, but the positive side of it is that, like, it's trying to, the positive side of this is trying to sort of make Canadians stronger. And we've got the Page of Cups, so that's interesting. Like, almost not, like, yeah, almost making people not childlike, because the whole government thing has, the whole government sickness that has been going on, the whole government sickness has been going on for a long time, and it's time that people everywhere take their energy field back from this, and it's just like a constant battle for that. But take your energy back from this, and instead of being the Page of Cups, which is kind of like emotionally driven in a way of sort of immaturity. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, which is somebody who stakes their claim. They decide what's right and wrong, and they decide that they're not going to put up with any garbage. And it's just like they're allowing themselves to be without any. Yeah, the Queen of Wands, interesting. The Queen of Wands, and the Queen comes up. It's sort of like, it's interesting, and then it's like kind of got that character and that character are connected to that Three of Cups. It's like breaking free, the energy of breaking free from this energy. But like, will they try to take more land? Will they try to? I'm hearing they want to make it as difficult as possible for people to be sovereign. So yes, they'll try, and they'll try. I'm hearing they're going to try other things that are different, but because one of the tactics of the dark side is to try something a little bit different, not doing something the same way, but a little bit different. So I'm hearing they may try something else that's sort of related to the same thing, but not taking property in the same way. So that's interesting. That's pretty disturbing. But not the same, the natives owned it before, but the Devil. We've got the Devil comes up, and then the Two, and then the Four of Cups. So they want to, I'm hearing the Devil, like the Devil is there, right? And I'm just covering that card right there. But then I'm hearing the Five of Cups, which is somebody who's kind of destitute and feeling sad. The fives are negative, and feeling like they've lost their emotions. So they'll try other things to see what they can get away with humanity. But I'm hearing the way out of these is to go into your heart and to expand. But yeah, like they'll try something else. What would they try? Let's get into this, right? But I'm hearing that, like, solidifying your own boundaries And yes, it's all energetics. It's like it's all energetics. And the more powerful you are energetic, and the more you can convince other people to be powerful energetically, then the more that you can keep these kind of negative things at bay. Like it's like to be looked at as that, to be looked at like they will always do what they can get away with, because that's what they are. That's what the dark side does. But let's see. Okay, what was it? Because they might try something else that's like not quite related to it. So property. I'm hearing they want to create a property nightmare. What would that be? A property nightmare phase where people have to give up their property to someone, but it's unrelated to the negative. They want to create a property nightmare phase. What would that be? Like a property. So I'm hearing that's like kind of one of the agendas, a property nightmare, 2 of Cups, where people like something about market destabilization. Like they want to create a timeline of market destabilization that creates basically a property nightmare. A property nightmare. It makes people file 5 of Swords, defeated. They want to feel people are defeated and take people away from like, yeah, what would that be? How would you like, they want to make it so people don't own their homes anymore. Like they like the middle class. They don't like middle class. They want to have people as disempowered as possible. So they want to create a property like nightmare, so more people at the top get the property. And they want to do that. And then what's another thing? And I'm hearing there's another thing that they want to do too. I'm hearing it's something, a diabolical plan, a little bit worse than that, like the property nightmare plan, but it's like they want to destroy people's will. Like they want to make it so bad, they destroy people's will, and they willingly concede to a government entity which usurps them. They want to have people, but I'm hearing that's not likely to happen. I think that other timeline isn't likely to happen. But yeah, they may want to destabilize things, a property nightmare, where people are convinced they aren't worth, or it isn't worth anything, and then they give it up, and then they want to have people to give it up and not to bigger corporations that don't, where they can't get it back. It's always about, I'm hearing they love the gap between the rich and the poor. They love the gap between the rich and the poor. The last thing they want is a robust middle class. The last thing that they want is for people to be empowered in their homes. They always work against that. They always work against. And I'm hearing they want you to hate and blame poor people, because the more that happens, and the more the poor can't get out from whatever they're under. Like the more that they like people to hate the poor, they like to be that divide, because then they can just, the more blame you put at the poor, the more it's difficult for them to get out of their circumstances. They like that. They like to have poor people. They don't not like a robust middle class at all. All right, so that's what we've got. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.